Hello everybody, it's Final Rich here with another 24 albums video, number 2. This is a shirt that my kids got me for Christmas. They know their dad, don't they? I don't know if you can see that, it's a turntable. Anyways, drinking some Peroni. Cheers everybody. I had my wife pick out 20 more albums from the same spot in the closet. My wife categorizes my music into 4 categories. Some she likes, good. Some's okay. Some is boring, and then she's got what she calls my crazy music. And so she doesn't really have much of an idea of what she's pulling. The other thing is, all of my albums are in 3 different closets in the house at this time. I do have an IKEA record shelf that I have bought, but I haven't put it together yet. I got to make some room for it. But all my records right now don't get the respect they deserve, except for like 20 of them that I have on the floor in the bedroom. Those are the ones that are currently getting the rotation. But anyways, here's 21 more albums. I was kind of surprised at how well the last one went, so I decided to do another one. This is my 3rd video in 4 days. I've had 10 days off from work, so tomorrow I go back to work, and I'm probably going to end up working 13 days straight, so I might not make another video for a couple of weeks. But anyways, let's get started. I can see the first one. I know what that is, and there's another one I can tell what it is just by the album cover. So I do know what 2 of these are. This first one is Turtle Soup by the Turtles. This is maybe a late 69, I don't think it came out in 1970, but it could. It's a pretty good album. I mean, I think the Turtles are an underrated band. One of the first albums I ever actually purchased was Happy Together by the Turtles. And this is a good album. They have this album, and then they have another album. It's like a Battle of the Bands. That's a pretty good album too. That has Eleanor on it. All right, the second one. Okay, this Coliseum Live. This is a band that I saw when I went to England in the summer of '71, and my cousin, I was with him. He's the one that showed me around, and I think we saw Coliseum like maybe 3 or 4 times while we were there. My uncle was stationed in England at the time, so the cousin that I grew up, cousin Mark, he was in England at the time, and he was the one that was able to show me around. And we went to a lot of concerts. We went to this one Wheelie Festival, and we saw some great bands there. I'll talk about that in another video, but this is a good album. Coliseum was a band that was not known in the United States. When I came back, I turned a lot of my friends onto the band. It's a progressive band, and this is a good album. Alright, this is a little different. Lesley Gore. Is it? Yeah, Lesley Gore. It's My Party, and I'll cry if I want to. That's the song she's known for. I guess she has another one on here, Just Let Me Cry. Huh? Poor gal, she did a lot of crying. That's pretty self-explanatory. Next one, Gary Bartz. He played sax for Miles Davis. He is not one of my favorite sax players. I mean, I have nothing against him, but honestly, I do not remember what this album sounds like. It can't be a bad album, or it still wouldn't be in my collection. Next one is Madness. Madness is a band that I like a lot. A lot of people, they think immediately of the ska, but they were a lot more than that. I mean, they had some, even on this first album, there's some really good songs on here. My Girl, Bed and Breakfast Man, and then what is that one? Oh, Night Boat to Cairo. Those are all really great, well-written songs. But they're a good band. Oh, here we go. This is a cool album. This is the actual first Mother's Frank Zappa album that I ever purchased. This is the actual one. Bought it at Kmart. I remember when I was like 5th grade, 6th grade. I used to go with my parents when they'd go to Kmart. And I would go to the record section, just look at the records. And one of the bands that kind of intrigued me with it was the Mothers. Just their album covers. And finally I picked this one up. Really good album. Every song in this is good. It's kind of like I don't know if you'd really call it the best of the Mothers, but it's got some really good, no bad songs on it. It was a really good starting point, actually. Next one. Something a little different. Misfits, Wolf's Blood. Earth AD, I think it was known. The US cover. I believe this is an import cover. And this is their last Misfits album, I believe. It's a little faster than their other stuff. Really good album. Earth AD, Wolf's Blood, Devil Lock, Death Comes Ripping In, Green Hell, We Bite, Die Die My Darling. Really good album. I mean, actually all the Misfits albums are pretty good. Now this is the other one that I knew what it was. I could tell by the cover. It's the Concert for Bangladesh, George Harrison, plus many other. I haven't actually played this album in quite a while. I have the DVD, and I do enjoy watching the concert. And one of my favorite things about this is the Ravi Shankar. He comes out and he plays for, there maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and then the crowd starts clapping, and he goes, "Oh, since you enjoyed the tuning up so much, I hope you enjoy the songs." I mean, it just cracks me up. Next one of those 80s garage bands, Telltale Hearts. Sorry for the glare. I'm not taking them out of the outside covers, the plastic covers or whatever they're called, the protective covers. This was a good LA garage band. I probably have 3 of their albums. Alright, cool. This is Bad Religion's first album. How Could Hell Be Any Worse? And it's got a smog-filled picture of LA taken from the Hollywood Hills. This is a really great album. We're Only Gonna Die, Part 3, Faith in God, White Trash, Second Generation. I mean, to me, this is their best album. I know they did have, some of their other albums are good and more popular than this, but for me, this is their best album. Okay, this is one, Garage Punk Unknowns, Volume 1 of 4. They had these albums in the used section at Middle Earth Records. There was like 3, maybe there was 4 of them. I wish I would have got them all, but I got this one because it was the number 1, and it's pretty, self-explanatory. It's a pretty good album. This here is actually a piece glued on. Same with this part. These are glued on. I haven't heard it in a while, so. Okay, this one here I will take out of this classic I have. It's not a normal. I don't know if you can be able to see this. This is Jethro Tull, Living in the Past. This is a 2-record set, I believe. It's been a while. Yeah, this is a pretty cool. I used to like Jethro Tull. They were one of my favorite bands when I was in high school. This is a comp, Darker Scratcher. This is a lot of those that, and it's, since she pulled from the same part of the closet, there may be some duplicates, and this one here is members of that Human Hands. In fact, Human Hands might even be on this. But yeah, Dennis Duck, he's on here. He was a member of Human Hands. Bee People, they're all in part of that same group. And this is a really good album. It's got one song on here by a band named Non, N-O-N. And I saw that band at Al's Bar. And it was just noisy. I mean, it was ear-piercing noise. And at Al's Bar, there was 3 rooms. There was, you first walked in, there was like the bar, and there was tables. Then there was the second room where the bands would play. Then there was a third room on the other side of where the bands would play. And they did not stop playing until everybody left where they were playing. I guess that was their point, but I stuck it out as far as I could. I wasn't the last one, but I noticed once everybody left where they were playing, they stopped. Their gig was over. No New York. This is that No Wave, I think it was called, those bands. It's got Lydia Lunch, James Chance. Let's see. Okay, here it is. The Contortions, the Teenage Jesus and the Jerks, Mars, and DNA. They were the 4 bands on this. I'm having trouble reading this because it's all shadowy on this side of this side's, but back here it's all shadowy and I can hardly see it. Cannibals. I have a few of their albums. I believe they're English. I'm not sure. They were kind of that garagey 80s garage band. I don't think they are very well known, and I don't recall what it really. I mean, I believe it's that 80s garage. Talking Heads, Remain in Light, is it? Yeah, Remain in Light. Really good album. I mean, I like pretty much all the Talking Heads albums. This is when they started blowing up. Once in a Lifetime, yeah. Yeah, this is when they really started. This one and then the next one. Alrighty, Frank Tovey. This is a solo album. He was the singer in the band Fad Gadget. Kind of an industrial. A lot of the goth guys liked them. My neighbor who was in goth, Chris, he's the one that turned me on to Fad Gadget. And this was in the Dollar Bin. From what I remember, this is a really good album. Now this next one I do remember quite well. It's Echo and the Bunnyman, Shine So Hard. This is a EP, 4 songs, all recorded live. Crocodile, Zimbo, All That Jazz, and Over the Wall. Really excellent. This is they were an excellent band actually. Echo and the Bunnyman, the early Psychedelic Furs. This is Warzone. This is one of those New York hardcore late 80s bands. I have a few of their Warzones. These bands, I never saw these bands. This is after I quit going to gigs. I probably quit going to gigs in 85 or 6. These bands came out a little bit after that, and I never really got into them. I mean, I tried. I just don't like these albums as much as I do the early 80s, middle 80s ones. Something a little different. The Sunshine Company, this is a Sunshine Pop. What was their big hit? I can't remember. Anyways, self-explanatory. And this is the last one. Wow, that was fast. This is another band, Steppenwolf, At Your Birthday Party. Now this was one of my favorite bands as a kid growing up. And this is a really good album. I mean, people think of Steppenwolf and they think of Born to Be Wild, which is a great song, although I don't think their first album is all that great. But this one has Rock Me Baby, Rock Me. Great song. Jupiter's Child. What's the other one I used to... It's Never Too Late. Chicken Wolf. See if that's on YouTube. Chicken Wolf's a great song. But this is a really cool album. It's a die cut album cover. It's got these little Mickey Mouse guys right there. Going to war or something. Yeah. Really good album. Steppenwolf. One of my favorite bands from the 60s when I was in junior high. Anyways, that's it. It's New Year's Day. Enjoying Peroni. Take care, guys and gals.